podcast is going to make a big decision in this case.
Excuse us.
Convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents.
Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder.
I only spoke to Mr. Reiner for about 30 seconds this morning. I have no comment about his mental state. I have not.
Nick, who's paying for... Alan, who's paying
The
for...
Nick Reiner murder case has entered a darker, more uncertain phase. And it happened within hours of a stunning courtroom shift that no one saw coming. Outside the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center in downtown Los Angeles,
Alan, who's paying for Nick's defense?
cameras rolled as Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman delivered a blunt message that cut through the noise left behind by defense lawyer Alan Jackson's sudden exit.
We are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, and do so unanimously. Thank you very much.
That declaration came just moments after Jackson, one of the most powerful defense attorneys in the country, walked away from the case, leaving behind unanswered questions, legal shockwaves, and a courtroom suddenly scrambling for direction. Jackson, who had stood at the same microphones earlier, made one final claim before stepping aside.
And you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that.
Two statements, same courthouse, opposite realities. And now the fight over which version sticks has officially begun. Wednesday's court hearing was expected to be procedural, a step toward a formal plea. Instead, it detonated into one of the most dramatic days of the case so far. Alan Jackson, a name synonymous with high-profile defense battles, abruptly withdrew as Reiner's attorney. Jackson offered no explanation.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Alan Jackson. This morning, I had to withdraw as Nick Reiner's counsel. Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control, have dictated that sadly, it's made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick. I'm legally and I'm ethically prohibited from explaining all the reasons why. I know that's a question on everybody's mind. We expect the public defender to step in. They've already been appointed and very capably protect Nick Reiner's interests as he moves forward through the system. But be clear, be very, very clear about this. My team and I remain deeply, deeply committed to Nick Reiner and to his best interests. In fact, we know, we're not just convinced, we know that the legal process will reveal the true facts of the circumstances surrounding this case, Nick's case. You know, a lot's been printed of late, over the last 3 weeks. A lot has been printed. Printed about Nick, printed about his family, printed about the circumstances. Speculation is in print. On December 15th, in the early morning hours, I was in New York at the time, and I got a call. Me and my team, we dropped everything. And for the last 3 weeks, we have devoted literally every waking hour to protecting Nick and his interests. We've investigated this matter top to bottom, back to front. What we've learned, and you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that. We wish him the very, very best moving forward. And that's all I have today.
How did Nick pick you?
According to well-placed sources cited by Deadline, Reiner's lack of financial resources may have played a decisive role. Jackson is a partner at Worksman Jackson & Quinn LLP, a firm known for representing defendants with deep pockets. Sources say Reiner may no longer be able to afford a prolonged, high-cost defense. As rumors circulated throughout the week about a possible insanity plea, District Attorney Hochman declined to confirm whether prosecutors would seek the death penalty or life without parole. Sources tell Deadline that Reiner's siblings and other family members are opposed to the death penalty. The family itself has chosen silence. In a statement provided to Deadline, a spokesperson said the Reiner family have the utmost trust in the legal process and will not comment further on matters related to the legal proceedings. We have the utmost trust in the legal process and will not comment further on matters related to the legal proceedings, Reiner family spokesperson told Deadline. With Jackson gone, the case was swiftly reassigned. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Teresa McGonigal ordered the matter transferred to the Public Defender's Office, appointing attorney Kimberly Green to represent Nick Reiner effective immediately.
Mr. Bailey raises a very sage point. I'm under a protective order not to provide our discovery to anybody else. That would
and we'll serve a copy of that on the Public Defender's Office along with the discovery we provide.
Yes, the court will order that were back on the record in People versus Nick Reiner, case number 25 CJC F08098.
Good morning, Kimberly Green here at EME.
Green acknowledged just how sudden the transition was. She told reporters she had only had about 30 seconds to speak with Reiner as the courtroom situation unfolded.
I only spoke to Mr. Reiner for about 30 seconds this morning. I have no comment about his mental state. I have not.
Later, the Public Defender's Office released a formal statement following the conclusion of court proceedings and the dueling press conferences. As of now, a further hearing is scheduled for February 23rd in downtown Los Angeles, where Nick Reiner is expected to formally enter a plea. Nick Reiner, son of acclaimed filmmaker Rob Reiner and photographer Michelle Singer Reiner, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances in the stabbing deaths of his parents inside their West Los Angeles home. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner confirmed the cause of death in records later sealed following a court order requested by the LAPD. The killings occurred on the first night of Hanukkah. Nick Reiner was arrested by LAPD just hours later and placed into custody. At the time, he had been living in a guest house on his parents' Brentwood property. Sources say he had struggled with addiction for years prior to the incident.